What type of questions should you expect in the personal interviews?
So what happens after candidates are getting screened in, they are divided. They are generally about 20, 25, 30 candidates. In this, there are 4-5 types of various questions or various aspects which the IO asks the candidates. So do you want me to elaborate?
One common question that comes in every test interview, their strengths and weaknesses.
This is one of the integral parts of the interview. IO generally asks them. So you must be very practical in telling them. You should say,
So if we were to portray an interview, personal interview, could you start the personal interview with me, sir, if you were to?
so yeah, if I say, Shivam, welcome. Why you want to join the Defense Forces? You are from a very civilian background. At this stage, I have your PIQ with me.
So what could be the main questions, sir? What are the difficult questions that you think after assessing so many candidates? If you were to tell me 5 difficult questions that are frequent in nature at the SSB, what would that be?
So you see, generally the interview of a student would start with his.
If you were to tell me more of these topics that students must focus on.
So student, firstly, to start with, they should focus on. See, one thing I would like to advise the students, which no channel advises. These questions which are there are available on the social media abundantly. Any social media picked interview, they'll tell you these are the questions which are asked. Right. The students who are serious in preparation would write down these questions and frame their own answers. That's how you crystallize your answers, because I've seen a lot of students.
The journey to becoming an officer doesn't begin on the parade ground. It begins in a quiet interview room with one chair, one assessor, and your entire life story in front of you. Here, the SSB isn't testing your memory, it's testing your maturity. It's testing whether you can follow instructions, whether you can understand your own ambitions, and whether you can speak with confidence without arrogance. And it also tests whether you know your worth without begging for validation. Many candidates enter the interview thinking dramatic answers will help. They be like, sir, if you don't select me, I have nothing else. But that is not courage, that is insecurity. Real confidence sounds different, real clarity sounds different, and real officers think differently. And to break this down, we are again joined by Colonel MP Singh, a veteran assessor who has guided thousands through the interview process and knows exactly how authenticity and self-awareness shape a candidate's future. In this episode, we explore how to present your ambitions, how to talk about backup options, and how to show confidence without desperation. How your real-life choices reflect officer-like qualities the board is searching for. We share examples of aspirants who come with strong career options, yet choose the uniform and succeeded because they were sure of themselves. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the golden rule of interview. You cannot lead others if you don't first understand yourself. So, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back to the series, SSB series with Amas Training in collaboration with Dive Publisher. Today is the final stage and we're at the stage of personal interviews. So, sir, welcome back. The first question to you today is, sir, what type of questions should you expect in the personal interviews?
Right. So, Shivam, personal interview can be held of a candidate on day 2 after psychological test, or day 3 after GTO first series, or day 4 after GTO second series. So what happens after candidates are getting screened in, they are divided. They are generally about 20, 25, 30 candidates. So some of them will be interviewed by IOs on the second day after the psychology test, some on the third and some on the fourth. So interview lasts generally for about an hour or so. In this, there are 4-5 types of various questions or various aspects which the IO asks the candidates. So do you want me to elaborate on this?
Yes, one common question that comes in every test interview, there would be talking about their strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
So how should a candidate portray their weaknesses and their strengths in the answer?
So each human being, each person has some strengths and weaknesses, and this is one of the integral parts of the interview. I generally ask them, what are strengths and weaknesses? Tell me 3 strengths, 3 weaknesses, or even generally just say, tell me your strengths and weaknesses. So you must be very practical in telling them, right? You should say what is logical and what actually weaknesses which you have. I would not like to name particular weakness which a candidate should select, but yes, if you are not aware of your weaknesses, I think the best way to do is ask your friends, ask your parents, ask your siblings, and then tell this IO, sir, I've got these weaknesses and I'm doing something to improve on them. The aim of asking you weaknesses is not just to find fault with your personality, The aim is to see as a person, if you know your weaknesses, what are you doing about it?
How self-aware you?
How self-aware, and what have you taken any steps to, do something about it? Let's say if I say my weakness is communication skills, I'm not able to communicate so well, then what am I doing about it?
Hmm.
And what about strength? Strength basically you want to see his self-introspection, what he feels he's good at. And when somebody says his strengths, I will generally ask them, give me some examples where you have displayed that strength. So they want to know for sure that he's really, he means it when he's saying something, or he's just, off the cuff, he's saying something like that. So whenever you give your strengths and weaknesses, be prepared to ask some queries based on that. Yeah.
So if we were to portray an interview, personal interview, could you start the personal interview with me, sir, if you were to?
So yeah, if I say, Shivam, welcome, and why you want to join the defense forces? You are from a very civilian background. At this stage, I have your PIQ with me. That's a personal information questionnaire which you would have filled on the arrival day at SSB. So that's in front of me. Before you enter my interviewing officer, I would have already gone through your past, where all you have studied, which place you belong to, what are parents doing, what are you doing, right? What have been the achievements? So I have this in front of me. So I can start the interview with Shivam. Why you want to join the defense forces? So then you will give some reasons. Then this is called rapport building. So no difficult question at this stage. I may ask you, you're coming from Delhi and you've come to Bangalore, right? Long way around. What mode of transport did you take? Did you come by air or did you come by train? So let's say you say, sir, I came by train, I came by Rajdhani. So Shivam, which all places did the Rajdhani stop en route? Right. So this is the start point. This is called the rapport building. First 5 minutes, he'll put you in a comfortable state and then he'll come to the main questions.
Okay. So what could be the main questions, sir? What are the difficult questions that you think after assessing so many candidates? If you were to tell me 5 difficult questions that are frequent in nature at the SSB, what would that be?
So you see, generally the interview of a student would start with his educational background. So in that, I will generally ask them, tell me about your education, starting from class 10th onwards, where all you have studied, what all marks have you obtained, what have been your percentages, what has been your achievements in your school and college, have you played any games and sports, any extracurricular activities, right? So these are the kind of questions he starts with. So once you answer them, then he may have some queries, right? Suppose you say, sir, I got 70% marks in class 12. So he may say, you got 90 in 10th and how it dropped to 70. So these are the queries. Then initially you answer the questions and then there's a phase of query. After that, you move to next aspect. So this is the first aspect. Next aspect is to know about your family, what background you come from. So there are a set of questions with the IO generally asks, tell you about your father, mother, brother, sister, the siblings, what activities you do at home, what are your contributions at home, do you have any friends around your colony, and what activities do you take part in. So these come in the second part of it. To all of you, including my own students, to like, share and subscribe to this channel. We'll bring you many more videos, not only for SSB, but a lot of issues of geopolitics and military knowledge, all your views.
But what are the difficult questions he asks?
So difficult questions are the ones, see, most of the SSB, first is your own familiarization. That is asking you about your education, your this thing. Then comes to difficult aspect toward latest point when they ask you about lot of news items, what's going on, geopolitics, your analysis of the situations in the world and in the country. Then they will ask you about military. Since you have decided to join the military, so question, what have you tried to find out?
I see.
The difference?
So mainly fact-based and opinion-based questions are asked,
Yes.
which you think are difficult for people to
Because
get
they're
used.
not prepared. Because
You're not
they're not prepared. So this actually, once you want to prepare, there's a line of questions you need to focus on, because you're joining any organization, you should know about it.
So these difficult questions, there are some topics like you said, geopolitics, there's national security, there's the structure of the armed forces. If you were to tell me more of these topics that students must focus on.
So student, firstly, to start with, they should focus on which academy they are trying to join. Let's say you are an NDA aspirant. So at least you should know what is NDA. When was it formed? What is the curriculum in NDA? What are the battalions, what are the squadrons in NDA? You can go to the website, go over and understand the curriculum of NDA. Then after you want to join the Army, Navy or Air Force, then go to respective branch of the defense forces. Let's say I'm a Navy aspirant. So I should know what ships does the Navy have. We have some aircraft carriers, right? What are the names? What are the tonnage? Right? Then we have some submarines. We have some nuclear submarines. We have some normal submarines. Can I know the names? Right? What are their weapons which are put on those submarines? So then they keep going deep and deep into it. There was a student who was asked by one IO that which aircraft would you like to fly? He said, "Sir, Rafale." He said, "Can you tell me what are the missiles which are fitted on Rafale?" No, it's not an easy question. A layman would not know. Right. Then one student was asked, if you see Rafale and Tejas in air from ground, how do you differentiate between both? Right. So a lot of preparation needs to go into this aspect, which is a difficult task. About your family, about a daily routine, तो सभी answer कर लेते हैं. But when this aspect comes, this is towards the end of the interview. Right. After he knows you in a personal way, then he start asking these questions.
So this is how you should prepare for the current affairs.
Yes.
And that's the
Building on.
defense related questions,
Yeah.
because these are subjects that you should know about, because you are
You're expected to know.
yeah. So how does one appear to be composed, maintain their composure, because there are difficult questions, there are different GTOs asking questions. It puts you on the edge. There's nervous factor, you get anxious. How do you build that confidence during the interview?
See, firstly, in an interview, this candidate is made to sit about 10 to 12 feet away from the interview officer. Unlike the corporate interviews, SSB interviews, there's 1-to-1. There's one interview officer, one candidate in the hall, right? There's no panel sitting there. And this officer who's interviewing is a senior officer, could be a rank of a colonel, brigadier, or a major general, right? So obviously, once you enter the interview office, the aura itself is so overwhelming that you tend to get a little nervous, facing a senior officer, but he makes you relaxed. So that's how the initial question, which like I asked you, called rapport building, it make you relax. And then second aspect of not losing your composure lies in your preparation, and that's what we make the students do.
Your confidence
That-
comes from a preparation.
Preparation, you could have had a couple of mock interviews or the aspects which I've told you. Think about these aspects, write your answers. See, one thing I would like to advise the students, which no channel advises. These questions which are there are available on the social media abundantly. Any social media pick interview, they'll tell you these are the questions which are asked. Right? The students who are serious in preparation would write down these questions and frame their own answers. That's how you crystallize your answers, because I've seen a lot of students, once they know the questions, everybody knows the questions. Once they reach there and start answering, they start fumbling because they have not crystallized their answers. So sit down, students, when you're preparing for interview, the questions you can pick up from the internet, or if you don't have access, you can pick up from my book. I've also given those questions, right? Then write your own answers to it. How would you tackle the questions? And then your nervousness disappears.
So these are some particular do's and don'ts that you have mentioned.
Dress up well for the interview. Look at the interview officer in his eyes when you answer him. Don't move your eyeball here and there.
Very
Look
important.
around, right? Once you go there, extend your hand, shake hand confidently, and sit upright in front of him. Don't be slouching or something like that. If there's some difficult questions, even if families are asking some difficult questions, be very candid. Don't lie. Be truthful. Okay. So it's better to be truthful, because then you can always support your answers. So these are the advice I would like to give to students. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the two books which I've authored. This is the series 1, that is volume 1 of the book. Do it yourself SMP. Those of you who don't have time to come out or reach out for a full-fledged coaching or mentoring, you want to prepare on your own, this book gives you all aspects. It covers everything what as a student you should prepare for. It also gives you some sample papers with which you can easily prepare. And once you finish this book, pick up the volume 2, which gives you the tasks, the practice sets with answers. Like we just heard, PAT, WAT, SRTs, everything is covered here with answers which are written by me. You will find them authentic and the information all real, which will help you clear the SSB without any problems. So for more information, do keep watching these videos, and all your doubts will be clarified. Thank you.
So, for example, you are at an interview and you ask them about the hobbies that they have. What hobbies are impressive in nature? Some people, some students want to start their new hobbies into, learning new skills. What are the top hobbies that you look for, sir?
Yes, the column of hobby is there in the PIQ form since the time it started. What is a hobby? Hobby is something which should be creative. So if a student has to give a hobby, it should show that he is very creative or knowledgeable. So something like a music instrument, playing a music instrument. Music is a very creative thing. Playing a music instrument could be a good hobby in students. Painting, drawing, dancing could also be a good hobby.
Whenever you're using your agency.
Yes, your agencies and you're doing something creative. It is always considered as a good hobby, which you do in your spare time, where you're not studying, where you're not playing, you have some spare time. What do you do in your spare time? That is a hobby. And for that, you should have passion.
Yeah.
Right. So whichever hobby you say, students have passion. You were a very interesting example. The student who came to me about a year back, he asked about the hobby and he said, "Sir, my hobby is bird watching." I was quite taken aback. I twice told him, "Don't write this hobby. It's a funny thing." I mean, he said, "No, sir, I'm very serious. I like to watch birds and I've got a lot of knowledge of birds." So I couldn't believe him. So he was being put to a mock interview. So I told the IO, I said, "Sir, since you are interviewing this boy, he's got a very different kind of hobby, bird watching. Because so far, as far as bird watching is concerned, only name which strikes you is Salim Ali, the India's famous bird watcher who also authored a lot of books."
Hmm.
So I told IO, I said, "No, he's insisting that his hobby is bird watching. So you check it out. Does he know anything about it?" And lo and behold, after 1 hour when the interview was over, the IO called me up and he said, "This man is encyclopedia on birds."
Wow.
Yeah. So whatever you have passion for, right, it could be a good hobby. As long as it displays your knowledge and it displays your intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But passion also involves.
But I'll also give you a funny example. One candidate, he said, "My hobby is playing Ludo and snake and ladder." Now, that is something very kiddish. And he was a graduate level entry. And we could only do is after reading his BIQ, I was at SSB that time, we could only laugh it out. Right? This is a kind of hobby. So, in this, he has basically shown us that he has not grown beyond a particular age.
Right.
So, when you write something, it reflects your personality.
Yeah, because it should represent your curiosity and your intent towards learning something new and taking action towards this, because only if you're passionate, you will take an action about it. And that reflects in all your different domains of your life. Beautiful, sir. Couple of more questions. This question is often asked, is that asking about their future goals and plans.
Yes.
How does one tackle that question?
See, we basically want to see the ambition of a person whom we are taking into our organization. A person who has good ambition will also strive to achieve it, right? And of course, when you say that this is my goal, the IU does weigh that where is what has he performed so far and how he's going to achieve his goal, what are the steps he's going to take when he achieves his goal. So it is always good to specify to the interview in the interview that so this is my goal. Now a lot of people take it the other way around. They say, IU asks you what's your goal? Sir, I want to be an army officer. So if you don't, then what? Sir, no, I still want to be an army officer. I have no other goal. I just want to be army officer. That doesn't show your clear thought process. Right. I'll give you my own example. When I went for SSB, I had already had a campus selection. I was studying in Xavier's College, Mumbai. So I had a campus selection for my college as a management trainee. And after that, I went for SSB. They asked me, oh, Mohinder, if we don't select you, what's your other option? I said, sir, if you don't select me, I've already been selected as management trainee. I joined that company and they're offering me the same salary what the army is offering me. You are going to offer me 2,200 during training and they're offering me 2,300. So I'll join them. Now, after this, I came back. I had a final interview of the management training round that was in Delhi. So in that, they asked me, suppose we don't take you, what are other career options? I said, sir, if you don't take me, I've already cleared my SSB. I've done with the medical. I'll join them. So I ended up getting selected in both the places.
You seem confident that way as well.
So that's what I say when student, when they ask you about what a career option, have a tangible and good career option. Don't say, sir, agar aap nahi loge, sir, main to mar jaunga, sir. I have nothing to do, sir. Please, sir, please take me. That is not done.
No, you have to say confident that, if you don't take me, you know your worth. At the end of the day, you should know your worth.
Yes.
And this answer reflects to knowing your worth.
With another boy who just cleared SSB and he joined the academy, he was having a package of 12 lakhs. He was working in Gurgaon in a software company. They asked him, you're having such a good package. You will not leave. Well, sir, you select me, I will leave this job. And I would like to join the armed forces. So he had his worth, getting a package of 12 lakhs. He got selected. And seriously, the day he got his merit list in, he put his resignation. And today is elected in the armed forces.
Wow. such as the examples that you have at MR's training. I'm sure you're grooming them well in order to get them to that mindset that the armed forces require. We had a wonderful series with you, sir. This was very insightful. A lot of lessons for myself as well as the defense aspirants. I hope this 4th video series is useful for you and you have taken a lot of things back. Congratulations, you made it to the end. Hopefully, you learned something new today. Please double check for me if you're subscribed, and don't forget to share this video with a peer who could benefit from it as well. Until next time, keep reimagining yourself and know that the power of change lies within you. Jai Hind.